So we'll pick up with the repair to the crossfeed screw on the lathe. I've been lucky as a lucky thing on a lucky day, because what I've managed to get is a brand new feed screw with nut. Never thought I'd be able to do that. So this is the used one. Don't know if you'll see in the photo, bit of rock in that, and there's a bit of fore and aft. And this new one, well, there's nothing on it, so there's nothing to show you. There's no rock, there's no fore and aft. That should take all the backlash out. Yeah, really lucky. The bloke who was advertising it didn't know what model it was off, so he was really good and gave me all the dimensions, and we now know exactly what model it's off. So I got it at a really good price. Probably a third or a quarter of what it should have been, so only a little bit more than buying one of the nuts. So brilliant. So all I've got to do now is remember how it went back together, which shouldn't be too difficult because I took a video, didn't I? And that will help, because I've got a memory like a sieve these days. So I'll start putting that back in, and already I've got it the wrong way around. It goes that way. These two bearings cleaned up nicely. The only very minimal amount of wear, just starting to go through the case hardening, a couple of specks here and there. Anyway, I was able to get a pair of new Hoffman bearings, the exact same as these, and they were quite cheap, so I thought I'd put them in with it having a new feed screw as well. So I'm now just going to fit them to this carrier. Well, I've installed on this. Talk about unlucky. As you can see there, two boxes, same number. These are the old bearings that came out. I fitted one. This is on this cross slide, obviously, and trying to fit this one, it wouldn't bloody go on. And then when you look at it, well I measured it, it's a different diameter, and when it's actually marked A9, these are A10. So it was in a sealed packet in the box, wrong one, so I'm gonna have to send that back. So that kind of balks me for getting it all back together. I've had to take the holder out that this outer race sits in. Yeah, just when I thought I'd get it finished tonight. I was keen to know if the backlash had gone, so I built it up with the old roller bearing on the back, which is his one to replace. Backlash is actually in the spline on the shaft, not actual backlash. So it has completely eradicated the backlash, which is excellent. But what I'm not happy about is it's quite stiff, and I wonder if that nut is actually catching the nut. I mean, by that I mean, you see on here it has witness marks, which I noticed as if it had been rubbing on the carriage. Now obviously after a while it just wears in, but I wonder if I just need to dismantle it all again and just take a little scrub off there so that it doesn't touch. So I'm going to do that. Right, I've got that out and it's just starting to rub, so I'm pleased I've done that. I'll be able to just file that off a bit and try it back in. I've taken a lick off that with the file now, not too much, but hopefully enough to give us clearance. So I'll clean all that up and re-oil it and put it all back together. Well, I'm going to call that job done for this video anyway. That's it. It moves nice and smoothly. Now there's absolutely, next to that bit of wattle is on the spline shaft between the dial and the actual screw, and then the backlash, it's minimal, absolutely nothing. I've still got my Gibbs screws to tighten up on there. I've got Gibbs screw to tighten up on the back of there as well, and also there's a plate that to go on the top there, but I'm going to leave that off because when that replacement bearing comes I'll have to take it apart again, and then I'll repack this with grease for the final time, and then I'll adjust the Gibbs screws up. I've got one more thing to do, and that's I'm going to have to make a shim to fit under here. This is what pulls that nut tight up against this this slide, and it's just, if I forget how many flats, it's about 4 flats to nip it up on there, and it's just too much. It's I can feel it in the dial as much as it's pulling the lead screw up, or feed screw. Keep calling it lead screw, it's a feed screw. So I'm going to measure the gap under there with a feeler gauge and just make a shim just to take up that space, and then I think we can call it job done after I've taken all apart again and replaced the bearing, packed it with grease and adjusted it up. Looks to be 10th out, so I have to see what shim I've got. Well, I've had these packets of shim in for about 25 years, I reckon, maybe a bit longer. Anyway, looks like I've used this one before to make something. So that's it, 10th out that measures, so I'm going to make it out. The bolt measures 7/16. It's a BSF thread. I think it's 18 TPI. So what I'll do is I'll punch out the centre 7/16 first, and I think I'm going to go right to the outside of there, which will be 3/4. So we'll see how that goes. So I've gone almost through with the 7/16, but now I'll swap to the 3/4 and take that out first, then I can finish the middle off. That way I don't lose my centre. Right, that's worked all right. I've just had, as when you bash it, obviously it deforms slightly, so I just used a bodywork hammer just to flatten it, and then I've just trued the centre just using that taper reamer. So I haven't actually tried it, but no, there we go. Lovely. Fit that, and then we should be done. That's it, fitted in there, and that's lovely. It's not pulling the feed screw up now. It just all feels just good compared to what it was. Oh, what a difference that's made. So yeah, I'll get on to the people who supplied me that bearing, and it's just this back one that needs changing, so I've left this plate off, and a couple of days when that replacement bearing comes I can just swap that over, pack it up with grease, and then that's that job done. Good job done. See you later, Rob.